Hey, this is Seth from Toronto, Canada, and I'm happy to be here. And I'm excited to talk about all the fun things happening, but especially fun things with all of my really cool animals. What's brewing today?
Welcome back, Seth Erik,
Hostile Chronicles.
and not proud of Target.
So get your cups ready for Minority Report. Hey, welcome to Minority Report. It's Auntie Carell.
And it's Auntie Dewan.
And look who we have back on. Ooh. And I looked it up because I was like, okay, how long ago was it? It's literally, it was about 2 years, like to
Two
the day since
years.
we've been on.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
crazy. Where did 2 years go?
Yeah.
But we have Seth back. And remember, it's the one episode that I think I will remember for the all-time history of all kind, because the tales that you had during that episode had us gooped,
Whew.
gagged, mouth agape, all the above. And so we're excited to have you back. How you been, boo?
Yes.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
Thank you once again.
that's
Thank
good
you for
to
having me
hear.
back. And I feel like the word hectic is like the word I live by right now. Hectic, in like in a good way. But I've been hectic.
Why hectic? What's going on? What's
Well,
brand
I was
spanking new?
living in South Africa for 3 months, and they love using the word hectic for everything. So I've just adopted the word like, "How are you?" And I'm like, "Hectic."
Love it. How was that experience? That's on my to-do list to get there.
Yeah, I've been to Cape Town and I've been to other parts of Africa before on holiday. I got a modeling contract there for 3 months. So it was
What's congrats?
really scary getting everything prepared work-wise to leave my animals. So that was
Yeah.
most of the anxiety for months preparing that. But once there, it was a beautiful experience. And yeah, the craziest thing is there's a housing shortage there, which I guess isn't so crazy. It's probably happening everywhere. Um, but we weren't able to find somewhere to rent on Airbnb or anything. So
Okay.
I rented a hostel bed for 3 months.
For 3 months.
Yeah,
What?
and I was like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then my partner Travis was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And I'm like, what else do we have? We have no options. So the beautiful thing was, it was one of the best decisions we ever made. We hosted queer events at the hostel every week or two that had huge turnouts with the um, locals, and we were able to hire drag queens and singers and artists, and we put on our own variety show, and it was just such a huge blast. And we made a huge community there, and yeah, I just need my event company back. I want to go back.
Oh my lord. Well, that's if that ain't turning
I've got
lemonade
so
from
many
lemons, I don't
questions.
know what it is.
We
Wait,
started in
so
this little like room in a dungeon, and then by the end, when we were there, we were in this Juliet by yourself, huge king size bed, like looking over the hostel. So like we really worked our way up to like the top floor. And to be honest, we had like 1,000 people in, and they ran out of alcohol at their bar. So like we literally brought in some of the biggest numbers I think they've ever had. So we're like the money makers. So give us the good
I'm here.
bed.
I'm here for it. What's your
three
question,
months.
Dwan?
That's I don't even know where to start. First off,
Have you been to a hostel?
me personally,
I've
no.
been.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Dwan's like, that's not my ministry.
Mm-mm. No. Okay, so what about like sexy time? Like when you want to be alone and do your things. If there's like 15 other beds in the room, I mean, is it
That's a
like
great question. So, a lot of people just do sexy time and you walk in on it. I'd say a few days, you're like, oh, and they're just like, just cuddling. And you're like, it's okay. Um,
Meanwhile,
It's
full
okay.
full dicks out,
I
balls and eyeballs. Like,
yeah. So for my partner and I, we would book hotel rooms once every like week or two, and we'd have like a
okay,
vacation from the hostel.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of people they have to just do it there, and there's showers there. Um, yeah, you just make it happen. I know some of my friends there were like having it every day with a new partner and just living their best lives in the hostel.
Is there
Uh,
like
and
is
yeah,
there
That's
like
the
you make
queer
it
experience.
work. There's different. There's like
is there
there's
but is there like code like, oh, if you see a knock on the door or you see a sock on the door, then you know that somebody's trying to like they need their privacy for like a little bit longer, or it's y'all
so
ain't got
there's
no
no
door,
official
so
code, but you tell your bunkmates. I didn't have to do this because I of course am virgin, but you tell your bunkmates in advance, and they should leave you be for the times that you need that time. Uh, and yeah, it's annoying if you're in a room with 15 people and then they have another three extra people in there, and you're in Africa. There's no fans in the room. There's one window and there's no air
mm,
conditioning. So you're sitting
mm-mm.
at 30 degrees. So every extra body is
Girl,
air
that
being
was not a
taken
hostel,
from the
that was
room that
prison.
you're paying. Uh, the thing is like we thought it would be, and I can't wait to go back. I absolutely loved building these connections with these people from around the world, all different ages, sexualities, everything. And I was like, I was feeling this hostel's pretty gay. I was like, this hostel's gay, like pretty gay. And then when we did our
It's
pride
hella.
night, I had several of the staff come out to me that have not come out before. Um, and yeah, by the end when we left, everyone was on this definitely deep on the spectrum of queer. Uh,
I feel we need a camera crew on Seth at all fucking times because
Yes.
the life you live is so fucking incredible to me.
I hope he sees this, but the manager of the hostel was like, hockey, whatever, sports, and like just not having me. And like in a hostel, I'm like, good morning, everyone. Like, does anyone else want to share my oats this morning? There's only two cockroaches in it. And like, like anyone need oat milk? It's like hasn't gone bad yet. And I'm like very congenial and like hostel, like you share everything, or at least I try to like make everyone feel comfortable around me because I've been to hostels before. And this manager, he was like literally just hated me. And I had him go to our second event. We called it Out in Africa. Get it? Out of
Mm-hmm.
Africa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, people
Got
in
it.
Africa have not seen Out of Africa, so they didn't get it. But Out in Africa, Meryl Streep, right? So we called the party that he came to the party, may have got him in drag, and after that night, he was a changed person. Like
Living his best life.
living his life, wearing whatever he
Was this
wants,
was
being
this
like,
before or after the butt plug?
oh, did you know about the butt plug?
Oh God, he was just making that up. But there's a butt plug. What
Oh, the
now?
butt plug was a huge thing at the hostel. You did? I thought you saw.
No, I did not see. But it
Okay,
was an
so
educated guess.
I brought a giant butt plug like this big because the category for the second ball I was walking was posing with a prop. And so I bought the butt plug for that reason and that reason only. It was
Did
actually
you
anal
check it
beads that
or
were
did
like
you bring it in your
huge. They were like this. It was
He was
actually in
like,
carry on, and it was a moment. To be honest, all the power to my partner. They carried it through because I was way too embarrassed. Often I pack things and I'm like, I can't, and I throw it in their bag because I get scared. And so yeah, they're usually the the person that has to do that awkward moment. If it's awkward, all usually it's funny. But I have these anal beads. They're huge, and it's the category for the ball is posing with a prop. So for several days before the ball, I was rehearsing my routine in the common areas. And so what I did was I put rainbow socks on each anal bead and I made it into like a hair thing. And so I was like this, and then I made it into
Yes.
nunchucks.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I learned basic nunchucking, like actual nunchucking. And I was just nunchucking around the hostel for several days with anal beads. And people were like,
Lord.
because like they don't necessarily know you, they're just arriving that day. And I was like, do it with confidence because you're going to be
Not
doing it
on
in
the
front of
first day, girl. Not on
hundreds
the
of
first day that you
people.
showed
Well,
up.
people come and go. Some people are there for a week, some people are there for a day, right? So you just gotta use the space. It's your space to use. But when I went to the ball, every single person in that hostel came. I think all 100 people came to the ball to cheer me on with my anal beads. And then
Aw.
let me tell you, the anal beads went missing after my performance. But I found them at a different nightclub with someone not even from the hostel, just carrying them around. And I was like, "Excuse me, are
Miss,
those yours?" And I
Mr.
brought them.
Manager.
That part.
Mr.
I got my
Manager.
Louis back. Like, where'd
She
you
done
find
stole
those?
it.
They're like $200.
Girl.
But yes, anal beads were a big
Can I get
thing.
that back?
And I got shot.
Wait, so how long have you been back in Toronto now then?
I've been back. Well, I flew back and then I went straight to LA, I think.
For DragCon.
Yeah, and I feel like I went somewhere else
Okay.
too. So, but I've been back for a few weeks.
Okay. And so how are the animals? The animals survived
The
while you were
animals
gone?
survived. Yes, I was like very worried. I would like, well, my plants. There was about 100 of them when I left. Now there's about 15 of them. So the plants didn't fare as well, but all 5 birds are here in my condo, and all the animals at my zoo are doing good. And my team did an amazing job taking care of them. I actually got
That's good to hear.
a new team member today. I just got him this
Oh, there ain't no
morning.
telling what you're about to bust out. What? Oh, it's like wait, that's not a
Oh,
kitty cat, is it?
that's like
What kind of
that's
kitty
like a
cat is it?
Bengal.
He doesn't know me yet, so he's a little bit shy. His name's
Oh,
Wait,
Fang.
what kind of animal is
He's
it?
a savanna cat,
A
African
savannah
savanna
cat.
cat.
And how large does a savannah cat get?
Big. He's a kitten.
Girl. Okay, hey boo.
He's like, "Oh, your lip gloss stinks. I'm gonna go run and hide under the blanket again."
Where do you get a savannah cat? You don't just
Oh,
go down to the PetSmart.
yeah. Well, there are some really good breeders here. Obviously, I frequent all the cat shows. Um, I went to the International Cat Show the other day. It's like, hey, as one does. Um, so I have other Savannah cats. So he's from the same breeder, but I love the breed. They get really big and they're more like a dog, so they're really good for shows, which I do with the animals. So
And then you hit on DragCon. How was DragCon?
DragCon was good. I feel like we learned a lot after doing DragCon last year about what to
Okay.
expect and what it was going to be like. So there was a bit more sleep this year. There was a more easy setup, and we got those people through. And I think the year before our lineup was like 2 or 3 hours long. And I think this year, because we do Jimbo's lineup and Jimbo's booth, Team Jimbo.
Okay.
I think we're running at like half an hour wait. So I was really
Okay.
happy because everyone wants to see everything, and you feel bad when people are waiting too long, and it's our job to get everyone through. So it felt good to get people through quickly and get them on their way to other queens they want to visit. But
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
say Willem had a very fun booth with a refrigerator
what made
of
it
poppers.
with a
Yes.
refrigerator poppers
So I
that
went
was for
over to say
sale
hi
or
because I love that human very much. And
Was it like community poppers or like the ones that were
no,
they for sale?
I think they were for merch. Anyways, we can't get them in Canada, so they handed me a bottle and I was like, "Ooh, girl." And then I was like, I just decided to just try it right there. And then I'm like walking around and I'm like Manila Luzon walks by and then like
Hey
a
girl.
queen dressed like golem was there, and she was like, "Whoa," and I was like, "Ah!" So it was a really intense like 2 minutes getting back to my booth.
Is there like a camaraderie amongst like even like the pit crew? Like, is there like almost like a
No,
brotherhood
we hate each
or
other.
a sisterhood?
Absolutely not.
It's like,
Um,
bitch, you took my spot this year.
I mean, I'm crew Canada, but I will say
Right.
the U.S. crew is lovely. I like their posts and vice versa. And behind the scenes, we see each other a little bit, but they're repping. Everyone's repping something there at DragCon. Like everyone, the queens are be themselves, but also probably a few brands. And like we were there for the Gay Men's Sexual Health Alliance
Okay.
Oh, right on.
for ourselves as well as Jimbo. So everyone has like several gigs going on there. So they were quite busy. They were there with Mister, which I believe is an
Okay.
American-based company providing
Prep.
prep.
Mhm.
Yes. And
Yep.
I spent a day with Mister filming a thing coming up. So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they had the
And not
US drag, they had the US pit crew at their booth.
okay. Yeah, because like I know even on the US version, like we had Q Care Plus on our show. God, it might be about a year and a half
About a
ago.
year and a half
So I know
ago.
they've been a big sponsor for RuPaul's Drag Race here in the US. So sounds like they might be having a partnership with Mister as well, which is good. The more the merrier, the more the information out there to get folks on prep, and the education about prep is huge for our community. So I love
Yes.
hearing
And
that.
we were also focusing in on PEP, which
1000%.
is new to me as a product. So I think our job was there to we were tooting and booting sexual health questions. So yeah, it was really fun. So hopefully that comes out for Pride. And
And then also, don't you have a new show coming up too, like Queens Gone Wild?
yes, I was thinking I was going to make a fun kid show. We have a public television network here that would probably provide funding because I'm POC, Indigenous, queer, and then I filmed my first episode with Willem,
And
and
things just go downhill.
we strayed far from the kids television genre. Um, and so
Are
now,
you saying
yes,
that
we are at a
facetiously?
turning point. Did you see it? It ended with
I
fist.
watched
It
it.
ended with a
Mm-mm.
fist.
I was about to say it definitely strayed away.
Strayed far, far from that. But to be honest, I actually like where that brought me. I have filmed other episodes already that are within the kid genre, but I think I'm just gonna go with this, more drag race level humor, 14 plus. And yeah, I just need to get my butt on getting them edited. And yeah, there's been some fun conversations happening behind the scenes, even last year about, you know, what and where is going to happen. But like, I think I just need to keep filming it and actually put it out. Because I like it and it doesn't, yeah, I think it can just live wherever it wants to
It
live.
bridges both of your worlds, honestly. Like it bridges that drag world. At least the first episode seemed to
Yeah.
bridge that drag world and what you do with hands-on exotics. So
Yes.
like, I think you're onto something with it,
Yeah.
honestly.
But for me, like, yeah, there's going to be some really exciting queens that we've done. Maybe some winners. And yeah, so yeah, I just want to get that out, but I don't need to. I was once concerned about what network or whatever, but I think just let it live on YouTube and Instagram where I actually live myself,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
and
and
who
see what
knows? It can
happens.
grow from there.
But I'm
Yeah.
kind of too busy cleaning animal poop every day to like really sit down and do something like that. I think like too many. Like maybe I'll do 6 episodes a year. I'm serious. I'm cleaning poop like day to night. It's a lot of work filming something, which I'm sure you guys know. And when it comes to like doing this and editing, it's just
How many animals do you have in your apartment right now? In your
apartment
place?
like 10, like nothing. At work, I have 100.
Lord. Ooh,
Yeah.
that is a lot of poop, Dan.
That's a commitment.
That's a lot of poop.
Mm-hmm. Is it more
Yeah.
or less poop in your apartment than the hostel?
Yeah, I mean, my apartment smells a lot nicer than the hostel.
By a lot?
And people like I'm not actually even going into details. Yeah. I think I'd be okay in jail.
Well, you were.
Oh, okay.
You already
So
were,
you said I
girl.
can fit in wherever.
Yeah, I think I'd flourish, to be honest. I would flourish. I'd be like, hey girl, this isn't so bad. What's rent?
She'd have made.
What's rent?
She would have made anal beads.
You can
She would have
get
made anal beads out of soap.
yeah, and take a knitting course. Absolutely. I start my own podcast in there.
Yeah, that wouldn't be my ministry. Jail would not be my ministry.
And I'm hoping not to go there again. But yeah. Yeah, living in that situation ended up being such a blessing, and it was very challenging, but then it wasn't. It was beautiful. And I can tell you, I met a girl named Hilda almost the first day I got there. They had just got there, and they rode their bike from the top of Africa to the very bottom. They're 19 years old, and they rode their bike alone all the way across Africa, holding their own bag.
Good for them.
And just
That's
seeing
incredible.
the videos and pictures of her journey and being able to share space with her was just so inspiring for all of us. And I clung on to that human and just sucked the energy out of her. But it's just like crazy stories you meet of these people that have done these things, and a lot of people there volunteering at orphanages and with animal rescues or refugees. There's a lot of refugees in the hostel, or people experiencing homelessness. There's quite a few trans people experiencing homelessness in the hostel.
Yeah.
And we're all in the same room, and there's bougie girls with like Mugler on in the hostel, and like we're all in the same space, like sharing breakfast, and it's just so beautiful and fun and connecting. And yeah, I'm
Wow.
thankful there's a housing crisis.
Are you still doing Canada's Drag Race?
Can
you say if you're still doing Canada's Drag Race?
Wait, did you get fired?
Who the hell?
You signed an NDA?
No. I definitely signed an NDA to not talk about what's happening, but I do know that season 2, COVID just hit. So they didn't want anyone on set. They didn't have to be there. And I feel that I may have heard rumors that even important people that were supposed to be on set tested positive on like day 1. So that made sense. Season 2, Omicron hit right at the start. So it's like, oh, fuck. Cans versus the World? I don't even know. I didn't even know what happened there. So
they pulled a Judge Judy.
Yeah.
And got rid of everybody.
I think it's quite interesting because we're asking ourselves, we're the only franchise that has fully removed, even during COVID, they could use blue screens and stuff. So we're the only franchise that has removed the pit crew completely, but not said anything about it. But also, we're not allowed to say that that's happened.
There we go. Okay.
So I don't know.
She said, "I'm gonna keep this body in shape, though."
I mean, it's a legacy role position, and my season 1 sisters, especially Boa, Jimbo, Brooklyn Heights, of course, Scott, all the girls. We are close, and we're still intersecting constantly on things and concerts and just so many things. It just keeps going. So I wouldn't even know what to do if there was a season 2, season 3 camaraderie happening. So I'm so busy with season 1 girls, to be honest. We're still
I have a feeling you
doing so
it
much
out.
stuff, and
yeah.
And now working with Jimbo, it's like wild. The celebrity that Jimbo is insane.
She's a special queen. Special queen.
Well, also
Insane.
Jimbo has a
And,
very pronounced and unique kind of shtick and look. It's very much over the top, and so in a cavalcade of queens that are all pretty much looking the same, beauty, that clownery that she brings and that over the topness is just it stands out, and it's easy for people to find a connection with someone that's like that.
Yeah, definitely. And knowing them from this, at least the start where we met in our season, to now just seeing their evolution, it's just I feel so proud. And I'm thankful that we get to go along on the ride, because their episode launched when we were there with them. So watching the episode with the people with them was like very meta and really fun and so exciting. And it just looks like they're doing really well.
So far,
I feel like very, very, very good. Like UK versus the world was like devastating for us Canadians. Lemon gone, Jimbo gone. So done. I was like, I'm not watching Drag Race ever again.
He's doing well so far on All Stars.
Jimbo wins. And then and they have a few TV shows on World of Wonder. I think another one's coming out. I might be on it. So those are
a little hint.
So much stuff in their universe that we get.
She got 15 jobs.
I will literally happily be Jimbo's pit crew for the rest of their career.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
There is a question
we normally save this towards the end, but go ahead.
Well,
in community side, Dewan's Wi-Fi is a little delayed, so if you hear us got a little delay, that's what it is.
Yeah, we'll have to fix this in post. Corel. This question has been burning for the last 2.5 years. There was another scenario with Tiger King that you were going to talk about the last time, and you didn't quite go there. So now a bitch is in jail. Spill the tea.
Something that you were getting remember letters anything. Or something from him.
I know we received mail from jail.
Okay. Did it include teeth or something?
After I saw Tiger King, I was terrified, and now like the whole political thing, it's like gross. He could have been like a fun kind of like Jimbo, but without the tits kind of character, and now he's just like really gross politically and everything. And the murder for hire part, it's fine. I can get behind that, I can get past that. But as soon as
nobody likes a Carol,
and we're a Republican, or that level of whatever, gross.
Yeah. Okay, so there weren't any pen pal ships formed with the
no
with the
one letter
King
came in, no letter came back on my end.
What did he ask you for in the letter?
Nudes. I'm just kidding.
Did he really? I was about to
say. I would for the wall in the jail, like a little picture of Jesus and like a little tiger, his pet chimpanzee, one of his ex-husbands, one of 5 this year, and then like my dick.
That says old pit crew.
Yeah. But I was on Canada's Got Talent after we talked last, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yes.
Ooh, yeah.
How was that experience?
That experience was wild, and I have so much tea on that. And
spill it.
The producer of Drag Race, by the way, was the producer of Canada's Got Talent, which I did not know until I got on stage and I saw them behind a camera live. Mm-hmm. So that hit me hard. I can tell you, Okay, so there's things that have been filmed. Okay, so I could talk about Canada. Yes. So on Canada's Got Talent.
She's going through all the NDAs in her head.
Right.
What can I talk about? What can I talk about?
She feels like she's going to be a talented girl in different countries. She feels very like she's she's trying to be talented in other countries.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the talent that we know she tried to be talented in Canada. So I had to go through like 5 like tryouts. I'd like send in a video of my like talent. Then I had to like do a live talent on Zoom, and I do another live talent on Zoom. Then I had to do story interviews, and they had to like interview my kindergarten teacher, every person I know, police background checks, of course, like crazy. They had to search for news on the internet, check my rent, check if you're on Grinder or not. It was just crazy. And I guess understand like they don't want some crazy story popping off when you're on the show affecting the advertisers. Whatever. I'm like, I'll just keep filling out the forms and do my thing. Well, next thing I know, I make the live shows. I don't have a talent. I don't have that. I have a talent when I have a friend filming me all day and then cutting the film into things and adding sound effects. That's when I have a talent. Okay. I don't have a talent.
She said, I am Kim Kardashian.
With 12 animals flying around a 5,000 person stage in the dark with a microphone on my head. So I had to bust my butt. I went into Canada's Got Talent boot camp. And for 1 month, I took my team and I got a hotel and I took all the animals that we needed. We had our costumes made, we had our props, we worked on our props, and we just did the routine. We were hitting 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, and up to the night before filming, we were hitting 80%, 90%. The day out, we did one run through, hit 90%, and then we hit 100%. We did the routine perfectly on stage with a live audience. It was wild. They were so far behind. They were like, "You're on at 1 a.m." And I'm like, well, in our contract, I have live animal. I shouldn't be saying this. They're not going to. They're not. If you don't do it, don't do it. But if you Google Canada's Got Talent, it's like the first article comes up, like man spills the dirt on how awful, whatever. And it's like a picture of me on the show. And I'm like, they're never going to have me back. But anyways, yeah. So it's like my animals like actually fall asleep. Like my birds like fall asleep at 8 p.m. and we discuss daytime. And like, yeah, well, and I'm like, you don't have an option. So then they didn't have anywhere to place us. So we had to sit in Howie Mandel's change room with him there, in and out, for like hours. And we had no idea when we would go on stage, but I have to have all my animals awake just at the right time with the foods and the snacks. And I'm like, and like just doing the script over and over and over. And my team was like, couldn't go near me. They didn't know what to do. I was losing my shit. And it doesn't help because all you see is people go on and you're, and then you see kids and adults coming out like into a hallway, and then cameras come at them and just film them crying.
How many people are like, I guess, being filmed your same day? Is it like dozens or is it like 5?
I feel like there was 2 filming days that day. There was supposed to be an early filming day and a late filming day. So they threw me into the late day, even though they knew I was supposed to do early. I feel like it was like 12 and 12, but it feels like a lot of people because some teams have 100 people dancing.
Right.
And they had me, in that back room with like someone, just stressed out people. And I was like freaking out. And then my animals were in the way. And then the craziest thing is,
we don't get Canada's good talent down here, I don't think.
Craziest thing is my mom tells me she can't come. And then I go on stage and then they shine a light on my birth mom and they're like, we're here to surprise you with someone, blah, 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 blah. And then they show my mom and then like, I have to give the whole birth story of like meeting my birth mom. And I'm just standing there with the lights on me and it's like, she's like crying. And I'm like trying to remember my lines, like, great job. And like, barely know her. And like, bird flies out, hit the mark, hit this. And I'm like crying. And the producer told me like after, she's like, sorry, we're gonna tell you one it before, but I told you after. And then it was just wild. And there was just kids crying everywhere, adults crying. I mean,
did you make it to the next round?
I did. Well, I did not.
Or is this? Okay,
I did
got it,
not,
got it, got
and
it.
I am so thankful that I did not. I know for the advertising commercials, I definitely got my sound bites in. I
Yeah.
went as a character. I went as an ornithologist that studies tits, which are types of birds that live here in U.S. and Canada. They're chickadees. There's like 21
Uh-huh.
types of tits. So the entire time I was like, I like to focus on these tits and hairy tits and big tits and small tits, and I was wearing a full like birder outfit. And then when my routine started, my whole team we stripped almost naked and then did an animal show. And then I had my parrot stripping, and it just went out of control, which is what I wanted. And
Right.
I couldn't do more than that. I did not want to come back and try and do that every
It's like
week
how we gonna top
live.
this?
Like
That's a
that
the next
one was
level.
like sucked everything out of my life. There's no aftercare. There's no, everyone's lovely there, but I'm okay. I can still do animal shows, whether I screw up on Kansas Got Talent or not. There's a lot of clowns and circus artists who get no's, and it's like soul crushing to them, or singers that go up and they're like, you can't sing. And then they're like, there's people that go up and they just get beeped before they even open their mouth. And they just, and they like flew out to be on the show and like had to do months of paperwork. So it's tough. I don't want to go dark, but there's been some clowns that have not clowned after being on the show. It was so hard to hear
Yeah,
the feedback. And sometimes the
get to
feedback
know.
is just them trying to be fun. But this is these people's
Mm,
careers, and they put everything they can and
mm.
all their money to be there to showcase their talent. And like I knew
That's
I
gotta
was
be
there to
really tough.
strip,
To entertain.
to strip naked with
That's
a
true.
bird that was twerking and stripping on a pole. So I knew I was there to have fun.
Well, we usually save this to the end, but with your connection to Drag Race, anyone that has like the connection with the Drag Race community that we have on the show, we've kind of added this curiosity question, and it's build your drag Voltron. So
Mhm.
it is, who would you like to do your makeup, or who you think has the best makeup, but in reality, who would you want to present makeup out there to the world? Presents, outfit, the drip, and the business. So we'll start with makeup first. Who would you want to do the makeup?
Um, I mean, I love watch.
Excluding RuPaul, by the way. Excluding RuPaul. RuPaul's out of the equation.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Uh, I mean, I really like Tusty Tiara's TikToks and their transformations, but I like clown makeup and Jimbo's. I'm sorry, Team Jimbo, but their makeup is clowny. But have you seen how fucking gorgeous it is right now? The
Jimbo's
The
evolution,
skills are
amazing.
like
there. The
on the
skills are
Yeah.
show, no
there.
one's doing their makeup for them. It is gorgeous. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
So you're gonna say
say
Jimbo for the makeup.
I'm gonna say Jimbo, yeah, or Brooklyn, Brooklyn Heights. Because I know um, they're just so good at it. At least when they used to do their own makeup. Now they don't.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
But I love their
All
makeup
right.
artists. They're amazing.
Who do you want? Who has the presence just on stage, like the performance and everything? Just when they get on stage, you're like, bitch, that's a drag queen.
Ooh, like who takes your breath away when they're
Yes.
performing? Ooh, oh my gosh, sorry, I have so many favorites. It's like really, 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 really tough.
You got to say one.
Oh my
One.
God.
The epitome. The rest of them will be okay.
I love people that can really, really dance. So I mean, obviously Sasha Kobe, because I love like a moody, sexy, strippy dance number.
Mm,
That's
Yeah.
like
mhm.
stripping sex, but like also you're a professional dancer and you're looking very confident in your face. So
Okay.
that if I had to bring it to a Canadian, I really love Lemon. Um, I've been to the All Lemon show here, and they're just choreoed all day, all night, and just so crisp.
Okay. Okay. The outfit. Who's just like aesthetic? You're just like, oh, I just love the way they dress every single time.
I mean, Simone and Gigi Good are. I feel like when I grow
Mm.
up, I would like to be either of them.
Right.
or them combined. I like what they wear as drag, but then I also could I could see it just wearing it on the street, like streetwear. Maybe everybody was staring
Mhm.
at you, being like, "Wow, you're really hot." But I feel like what they wear is wearable and drag, but at the same time, it's like pushing fashion, and I'm assuming they're inspiring fashion designers, and maybe not the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then I really
And
like
then the
Jimbo's
last.
tits. Like I would love to run around with those giant ass tits.
It's like, hey. Okay, and then the business acumen. Who's out there just like running shit that you're like, man, they just get how to run a business post this drag race stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to business, I would say Brooklyn Heights. I mean,
Okay.
she knew what she had to do. She won Continental, got her US visa. US visa got her on the US show. She's top 2 on that show. It's like amazing. Had her own tour starring herself. Did work the world. And then became the host of Canada's Drag Race, and then still tours. And I mean, I feel like if they're bringing in bank, and I feel like their life is almost, from my perception, both seeing them, around and on Instagram, I feel like they're bringing in more money now, perhaps, and maybe life is a little less chaotic because they don't have to travel every day to a gig,
Right.
where they
Right.
have like
Mhm.
you have 3 months here to film, so they can be with their family and have a bit of a life.
Yeah. 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 No, that's true. All right. That's not a bad draft, Voltron. So we said for the makeup, at first you said Plastique, but then you went over to Jimbo
Well,
for,
I mean, Jim will be more fun putting the makeup on too. Like think of the
I
boobs
agree with
like
that
in
too.
your face and rub it. Maybe they use the boob as like a
A
way to
tray,
blend as well.
not
And
a
then
not a blender.
the nipple could be like for the eyes, and then also just fun at the end of the day just to put your face on the boob and like see your face mark on
like
the
Will,
tip.
like Wilson the volleyball.
Yeah.
And then you said Sasha or Lemon for presents. You said Simone, Gigi Good for the outfit, and you said Brooklyn for the business. That's not a bad Voltron. I'm not mad at
Yeah.
it,
Yes.
boo.
I went to the filming of Drag Queen of the World
Yeah,
competition in LA. Do we know who won, or we're supposed to keep it quiet? Was it?
we don't know who
I
won.
have no
Oh,
idea.
okay. I don't know. I I didn't know if it was like everyone goes and and you say it, or you wait till it airs. I don't know. But
You wait till it airs.
okay. I am very happy with that queen that won. And
Okay,
I feel that if they end up on Drag Race, it's over for those girls.
it's a wrap.
And I
Okay.
met Militia. I don't know if you know Militia. She won
Mm-mm.
last year, and she's on Queens of the Universe this season, coming out
Uh,
in a few days or this weekend.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a singing. That's a like
Um,
singing competition, right?
the singing competition, yes.
Yeah.
And Militia from last season, or the competition last year, she won, and she did a performance, and it was like beyond what she was like. I don't know, she was like flying, she was like death dropping, she was dancing, then she was singing live, and it was like insane vocals. And then dancing again, and then like miming, and then the whole audience was crying. It was so crazy. And I was watching
Wow.
this sitting beside Adam Shankman, right? Adam Shankman's crying. And Shea Coulee took an edible, so she was passed out in front of me. But I think she liked it. I don't know. And then Jade Estes Hall was
I
like
think she liked
screaming, and yeah, all the girly girls were just living, and yeah, it's just
it. Okay.
I really enjoy that competition. I think it's like
I'm gonna need to check it out. I didn't watch the first season at all,
I think it's
and it's on my
now that
brain to
I've
watch
seen it,
this.
it's so amazing, and Alaska does such a good job. And I was so blessed to be able to.
I'm just here for any show that's continuing to push the drag culture forward, especially in times like now where they are trying to get rid of the culture
Well,
and
wait
get
till
rid of
you
our
see
community.
this year's, because I didn't know drag could be pushed that far before. I was
Okay.
shooketh.
Okay.
I was shooketh.
Oh,
The way more, and they can do, I think, a lot more than they can on Drag Race, just given like
okay.
censorship.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
But it's on World of Wonder,
Well,
so
I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. And so, you know what? We were going to do Ask Your Aunties, but just for sake of time, because I know Seth has things, he's booked him busy tonight, like immediately after this. And then Dewan's
and
about to go see
then
Grace Jones tonight. So,
and then did we talk about House of LaBeija?
no.
What about them?
I did see that in your profile. Like, are you a voter for House of LaBeija now?
Yes.
Since when?
What?
So I tried out last year. Someone put my name forward. I don't know how I ended up in these tryouts, and I was like, do I go? Like, do they know that I can't dance? Like, how did I end up here? And I was like, you know what? This is like something from above telling me, like, this is your chance, girl. Just go and try. And I did the interview, I did the tryout, and
Where was this? Was this in LA or
New York, official House of LaBeija, New York. But they do have an LA chapter, which I will
she
be
came
with,
to New York and
having an
didn't
LA
send me
chapter.
anything?
Oh, then.
I will be having dinner with the LA chapter on Sunday in New York, and walking the latex ball this weekend. Which is, I can't say yet, but I've been spreading the LaBeija love to new areas of the world as well. So
Okay. Like hostile, like the hostile love, or like something else kind of love.
maybe the hostel's a new chapter of LaBeija.
There we go. Oh man. But since we'll skip Ask Your Aunties, we just wanted to shout out a couple things. R.I.P. to Tina Turner. Like that one broke my fucking heart.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, that was shocking.
broke my
To be
heart.
honest with
Still
you,
misty.
It was shocking. Yeah. They were.
Ugh.
Yeah. You see someone, they look so healthy, I guess, when you see them on TV, and then they're just gone.
Yeah.
but I also feel
I
like
know she had some.
I also feel like
Go ahead.
Tina has had an incredible life. You know, like when you think about somebody who, you know, when they come to the end of their days and you look back on like the mark that person has left, you know, just the legacy of self-empowerment and traveling through and making it through adversity and making a mark for yourself and then finding true love. And you know, she was living in a castle in Sweden for the last 25, 35 years, you know, just like luxuriating in, you know, in what life had to offer her. And I feel like, you know, I'm happy that she had the life that she truly deserved, you know, as opposed to going through a life that was just struck with like hardship and adversity throughout all of it, considering where she came from.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just shows that like it does get better. Like we say that a lot of time within like the LGBTQIA plus community, but finding that inner strength to get out of situations the best that you can, and you might not know what the path forward is. You might not be able to see it in that moment, but just knowing that hey, if I get out of this tough situation, someone beat me up or emotional abuse and things like that, and needing help to get out of it because you just never know what's just around the corner when you get out of situations like that.
Yeah.
Instead of just like staying put just for the sake of loyalty or I told you I would stay, you know, it's like, no, ho, let me get out this bad situation. And so, like you said, Devon, just to see the second half of her life and that journey and that trajectory upward and onward, no matter the age too, because love got to do with it. She was like 45,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and some people are like, oh, that's too old to be doing nothing. No, you can start a whole brand new life when you need to. So yeah, and and obviously her music and her dancing and her career is just, that speaks for itself. So yeah, so when that one came out, I was like, damn, because that was our music for our wedding. So like
Oh,
part of my soul like was like, oh no, not Tina, not
Yeah.
Tina. Take the Santas, not Tina.
Not DeSantis. That fucking demon.
I'm just saying. So yeah, so R.I.P. to Tina Turner. And then also we saw The Little Mermaid was the biggest opening over the weekend. Was like the 5th biggest box opening, at least in the U.S. of all time for
Mhm.
Memorial Weekend. So shout out to Halle Bailey doing
She's
the damn
having an
thing
incredible
maxing
year.
with the box braids.
with the box braids, right? Come on now.
Yeah.
And she got the color purple coming up too, so she about to
Woo.
have a gargantuan year. So shout out to her. And then also, I'm not sure if you guys saw like the MLB, like the Dodgers night with and well, originally they had invited but were the sister? I always forget how to say it. Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Yep.
Then they rescinded the invite because people were up in arms about it. But then now they re-invited them, and it's still kind of shuffling and bustling. But it looks like the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence they're going to at least accept it. They put out a statement saying that they met with the team. They, kind of hashed it out and said, okay, you know what? We appreciate you realizing the situation at hand, and they're going to show up. But now there's star players on that team speaking up against it. There's star players like on other MLB teams saying that they think that group is against Christianity and all this stuff. And it's like, y'all just need to go have several seats and sit down because y'all don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Close your Pornhub. Take a seat.
Period. So shout out to them because, I mean, hopefully this is a learning lesson for a lot of businesses right now because we saw it with Bud Light. We're seeing it with Legos right now.
Target.
It's going to get
There's
worse
a
before it
lot
gets better
of
for sure.
Target. Yeah. But it also shows, at least for our community, us speaking up and showing up and speaking out can potentially change things, like the Dodger situation. So continue to do so in that regard.
My modeling
Sheesh.
agency had me booked for several Pride campaigns last year for large companies. And this year I expected to do them again. And I don't think the companies are doing them because they're scared.
That's sad to me. That's ridiculous. So I mean, we just got to continue to speak up, speak out. Like that's what Pride Month is for. Honestly, they continue to fight. Yes, we love a little kiki moment. We love a little, rooftop moment, party moment, parade moment. But if we've seen anything the last few years, Pride Month means we need to turn up and turn out because they're really trying to diminish our community right now. So
What
now
is the
it's not time to
situation
get
like?
quiet.
What is the situation like in Canada for drag queens? Are you seeing similar, conservative folks coming out with similar kinds of
We are,
legislation?
yeah. I would say it was mirroring what's happening there. Threats on the facilities that are hosting events, like book readings. And then I'm seeing my friends who have kids protesting by bringing their kids to drag queen events. I'm participating in one that my mom and her best friend are running for trans youth in my hometown. And we are having like 12 queens come and they're shutting down the street. And so it is going to be chaotic. I know there's going to be protesters there. So yeah, it's mirroring what's happening there. And our brands are scared to mention pride now. And the queens are scared. And what happens there eventually happens here all the time.
Yeah. It's interesting because like for the longest we were wondering if corporations, especially large corporations, were appropriating Pride Month and things like that. And going through like situations now, I'm like, in a way, go ahead and appropriate us. Like at least we're visible. At least it's forcing the narrative a little more. And to see things being rolled back is scary, honestly. It's scary. Like to go into a Target of all places and be like, wait, I can't even buy a Pride shirt. I can't buy a Pride pin. Like, that's weird. That's crazy to me. So in a weird way, I'm like, okay, maybe my viewpoint was a little jaded, a little naive, maybe. To just be like, oh, we've gotten too corporate. No, you know what? It was good. We need the corporate stance, honestly.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, I was thinking that as well. Just last year, how we had all those memes making fun of corporations, and this year we're like, especially as a model, like, please hire us. We're just kidding. Last year I was
I
like,
honestly feel like,
yeah,
sorry, I honestly feel like, I've never really had an issue with like appropriating pride, but I think the question of it is like when you're profiting off of marginalized communities, you it's easy to see who does that when situations like this get tough, because there are other companies
Yeah.
where when shit got tough and people were like protesting and going into their retail stores or whatever and saying things against employees and whatnot, the company stood by them. But
yeah,
Target, you ain't doing that. So it
So like,
truly shows, what your colors are when you like, then really what you were using this as a marketing ploy is not that you stand by, and it sucks because I know that there are so many gay people, LGBTQIA plus people who look at Target and shop at Target and spend
and
their
work
hard-earned
there.
dollars because they believe
and
and
work
work there
right.
and believe that company has their back, and they don't, because when shit gets tough, they fold up like, you know,
They do whatever the
I don't
shirt
have another
holds
analogy,
Walmart.
but they
and
fold
not,
up, and
yeah.
now we know what your true colors are, because you're willing to ride with it as long as it's cool and as long as you can make money off of it. But as soon as things starts getting tough and you have to stand on your morals, we see what your morals are, and your morals aren't there. And that's disappointing.
But I want to know. So now I know. I never shopped there and I
Yeah.
will never. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Target, buy
Yeah.
local.
What is the equivalent of Target in Canada? Is there?
Well, we had Target for 2 years. They came here and they shut down.
Y'all ran them out of the
But I guess
country. Said
no,
none of that
thank
shit
you.
here.
That cheap ass shit. I guess Walmart, and as a Walmart
Oh.
ambassador, I love
Oh.
Walmart.
Yay, Walmart.
I
We do too.
also
Minority
love
Report. You want to sponsor us,
Amazon.
Walmart?
Amazon is the best. I love Amazon, and you can catch me at Amazon Pride next week.
Hey, there we go now.
I love Amazon. I'm a fashion ambassador for them.
I know that's right.
Let's
I know
make
that's right.
things,
Get them
lots
toys,
of
boo.
things, and ship it, and have people running around little warehouses really quick. Good for their heart, right?
It's a heart healthy company.
Yes. I lost 20 pounds in my first week at Amazon.
I'm not gonna
That's
say
right.
anything because I don't
Oh
want to
Lord.
mess anybody's check up.
This is right. And our future checks either. We putting it out there. Amazon, you want to sponsor us too? Go right on ahead. Come on now, boo. Oh Lord. But Seth, stay safe out there. We love having you on. You know you can come back whenever you want, boo. Tell them where to find you and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, once again, thank you for sharing space with me today. My Instagram is Seth, Sethe Falk, Falk. My website, Seth Erik, Setherik.com. And my animal or my zoo business is Hands On Exotics. And I must mention, I am Canada's only Black film and television animal wrangler and Canada's only zoo owner that is a POC, and the first
I know that's right.
in Canada to be a POC zoo owner. And I've been owning that ever since I saw Kiki Palmer in Nope, and she had to let everyone know about that. And I was like, you know what, that is me in Canada.
Boom.
I
I
love
know
that.
that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let them hoes know. That's what I say. Well, happy Pride to you, boo. Thank you for being visible. Thank you for being you, honestly, because we need to show the breadth of our community. So continue to be visible and speaking up and doing you, honestly, because that's what we need. And Dewan, anything else on your heart and mind, boo?
Girl, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this internet.
The internet, right?
Oh my
Beyonce
God.
interwebs. She overseas. That's what it is.
I think Landon didn't
French
curse me.
internet.
She didn't turn 40 over last weekend, and she didn't curse me with her internet. This shit will be fixed by the next episode.
Exactly.
I guarantee y'all that.
That's right. And so shout out to Landon, happy 40th. Jarrell will be back. She's overseas right now, so we'll get all the Beyonce shit and the Paris trip from Dewan and Jarrell in next week's episode. But until then, wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass. See you next week. Happy Pride, bitches.
Happy Pride.
Bye, y'all.